There are things greater than you in the universe that you do not understand, and salvation awaits you. Take Pascal's wager. If you're wrong, you're an idiot. But if I'm right, you're going to hell.
I do admit there are things in the universe I don't understand.
Okay.
But my response to that is not to make up silly stories.
But
I probably wouldn't be invited to your dinner party because we're very opposite, right?
really, how so?
Well,
Donald Trump posted, "I absolutely love that Colbert got fired. His talent was even less than his ratings." Go yourself.
Bill Maher didn't just criticize Stephen Colbert, he dismantled him piece by piece. And this wasn't a sudden outburst. Maher's distaste has been simmering for years, quietly brewing behind smirks and sarcastic digs. But recently, he finally snapped the mic in half and said what many have been thinking. Colbert is no longer a comedian, he's a corporate cheerleader in a suit. In one of his most cutting moments, Maher didn't even pretend to hold back. "He's nothing," Maher growled, "just giving the machine what it wants." That wasn't just shade, that was scorched earth. He lumped Colbert with late-night elites like Jimmy Kimmel and accused them of turning comedy into ideological performance art. Robotic monologues built for applause, not laughter. Maher's venom wasn't subtle. He ripped into the left-leaning echo chamber that has consumed late night, claiming these shows don't even try to hide the partisanship anymore. "I don't like him, and he doesn't like me, and we don't hide it." That blunt honesty hit harder than any punchline. But Maher wasn't done airing the dirty laundry yet. What came next struck at the very soul of Colbert's brand and exposed the sad truth about late-night TV.
You know that the people who want to make hay in Washington are going to try to use your adult son as a cudgel against you. How do you feel about that?
He is the smartest man I know. I mean, in terms of pure intellectual capacity.
That's right. But they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop. And they're not, this is a movement, I'm telling you. Everyone should take note of that on both levels, that this isn't, they're not going to let up, and they should not.
Bill Maher didn't just question Colbert's content, he challenged his very purpose. "Comedy used to be the court jester," Maher said, "mocking kings, not serving them." That line hit like a sledgehammer. Colbert, once a sharp satirist, has, according to Maher, become a full-time servant to the ideological machine. The guy who used to mock power now worships it, trading satire for sermons, jokes for lectures. Late-night TV, Maher argues, has lost its soul. It used to be where Americans went to laugh before bed. Now, it's just another political battleground. Maher slammed this transformation as a betrayal, not just of comedy, but of the audience. He accused Colbert of cheerleading for the left, slamming anything remotely conservative, and turning monologues into megaphones for activism. "It's not about making people laugh anymore," Maher warned. "It's about pushing a narrative." And the scariest part? Viewers didn't even realize it was happening. Like frogs in boiling water, they mistook applause for authenticity. But Maher saw it. He called out the joke that wasn't funny and said what most late-night hosts are too scared to admit. But the real exposure was still coming. Maher was about to pull the curtain all the way back.
That crazy that you're right, that all the comics that were supposed to put everybody to bed or whatever it is, they all went bananas left. I mean, Colbert, these guys are terrible. Like Kimmel to me is just maybe friends with him. I know a lot of people
I love Jimmy.
Yeah, like he's
Colbert and I are
to
not
me.
friends.
Yeah, like those guys to me, they're just the worst sort of partisan nonsense. You want everybody.
But the good part of that is we don't hide it. Like he doesn't like me and I don't like him. And we don't deny it and we don't like it.
No, but he's nothing.
Colbert?
Yeah, he's nothing.
He's also very successful.
No, but he's just giving the machine what it wants all the time. For my differences with you,
That
I totally respect you.
is well said.
Yeah.
Giving the machine what it wants. I wish I had thought of that phraseology. That's exactly right.
To Maher, Stephen Colbert isn't just partisan, he's a performance artist playing to a rigged crowd. The laughs, pre-approved, the applause, programmed. The whole thing, Maher suggests, is political theater disguised as comedy. He laid it out brutally. Colbert's show isn't a place for surprise or debate. It's a scripted safe space for progressive comfort food. Unlike Maher's Real Time, where boos sometimes drown out cheers and unpopular truths get airtime, Colbert's stage is sterilized, sanitized, predictable. Has Colbert ever let dissent ring out on his stage? Maher challenged. Has an unfiltered opinion ever shaken that room? We all know the answer. Maher pointed out that Colbert isn't challenging his audience, he's coddling them. His comedy is engineered to flatter, never question. It's a laugh track echo chamber. The difference is staggering. One show dares viewers to think, the other rewards them for nodding along. Maher doesn't just accuse Colbert of selling out, he accuses him of betraying authenticity itself. And the most brutal part? He says Colbert's entire persona is wrapped in applause, not truth. But for Maher, this wasn't just about stage lights and ratings. He was about to make it personal.
Donald Trump posted, "I absolutely love that Colbert got fired. His talent was even less than his ratings." Go yourself.
Here's the problem for Colbert. His contract is a payout contract through a transaction where there's a change of control. Only a moron would tell the president to F off before he gets his check, okay? So what's gonna happen now, in my opinion, is tomorrow, CBS, his boss, will fire him, and they will litigate for the next 5 years his payout.
This wasn't just a professional roast, it was personal. Maher and Colbert have shared the same Hollywood circles, even shared a stage. But friends? Not even close. We've never liked each other, Maher admitted flatly. And we don't pretend. He described a moment on The Late Show that still stings. Maher tossed out a clever joke, Colbert's audience laughed. And Colbert, he played dumb, acted like he didn't get it, left Maher hanging midair, looking like the guy who missed the punchline. That wasn't miscommunication. That was a power move. According to Maher, Colbert uses smugness as a weapon. Where Maher leans into uncomfortable truths, Colbert leans into passive-aggressive sabotage. Maher respects disagreement. Colbert buries it under sarcasm. But the real difference? Maher is a liberal who dares to criticize his own side. Colbert, Maher says, is a loyalist. He picks a team and plays to win. Facts and fairness be damned. Maher doesn't love Trump, but he refuses to foam at the mouth just to fit in. Colbert, he became the king of derangement. And Maher wasn't about to let that hypocrisy slide. What came next was deeper, an attack on the emotional core that fuels it all.
Yeah, well, look, this has not been a great week for free speech and speaking truth to power, without a doubt. Look, the circumstantial evidence, and that's all we have, is as follows. CBS has said that they are canceling Stephen Colbert after next season for financial reasons.
When Maher said, "We need bombs that kill ideas," he wasn't joking. He was sounding the alarm. He warned that emotion-driven ideology is poisoning the public square, and Colbert, in his view, is one of the loudest emotional bomb throwers. Maher accused him of confusing rage with righteousness, tribal loyalty with truth. Hatred for someone, Maher said, can blind you from ever seeing good in them, just like blind love blinds you to the bad. It was a brutal philosophical gut punch, aimed right at Colbert's heart. Maher wasn't defending Trump. He was warning against a culture so hysterical, so whipped up by emotion, that it can no longer think clearly. Colbert, he argued, doesn't challenge that hysteria. He monetizes it. He dances on stage, plays moral authority, and gets rewarded not for balance, but for fury. And the real danger? Once emotion becomes the currency of commentary, truth becomes irrelevant. Maher's message was clear. You can be liberal without being blind. You can care without canceling. But Colbert, in Maher's eyes, chose emotional warfare over honest dialogue. And the cost wasn't just ideological, it was financial. Maher was about to show how Colbert's loyalty to the machine led him straight off a fiscal cliff. Stephen Colbert had a $100 million budget and still managed to bleed $40 to $50 million a year. That's not just a flop. That's a disaster disguised as legacy. Maher didn't even have to twist the knife. He just read the numbers out loud. You're given $100 million and you lose $40 million a year. Why were you even hired? The answer, according to Maher and others, was chilling. Colbert wasn't paid to be funny. He was paid to be obedient. Dave Rubin piled on, saying Colbert became a high-priced mouthpiece for the machine. Not a comedian, a performer for hire. A guy who'd literally dance to promote a vaccine or bury a scandal. so long as the paycheck cleared. Maher took it further. The real failure wasn't just ratings, it was trust. Colbert wasn't selling laughter, he was selling compliance. And eventually, CBS did what any network does when profits evaporate. They pulled the plug. But Maher warned, this wasn't just a business decision, it was a reckoning. The audience walked away because they stopped feeling seen. Colbert didn't lose viewers because he changed. He lost them because he stopped being real. But while Colbert sank, one man rose to his defense, Jon Stewart. And that's when things got even messier. When news broke of Colbert's quiet firing, Jon Stewart went nuclear. The man who once launched Colbert into late-night stardom unleashed a fiery tirade against CBS and its parent company, Paramount. He accused them of kneeling to Trump just to smooth over an $8 billion merger. But here's where things went sideways. Despite the rage, Stewart didn't quit. He didn't protest. He didn't walk off The Daily Show, which airs under the same corporate umbrella. Instead, he sang. Literally. He did a bizarre musical number cloaked in faux rebellion, pretending to roast the company while still cashing its checks. Critics weren't impressed. Megyn Kelly obliterated Stewart's performance, calling it cringeworthy theatrics and labeling him a coward. She pointed out the obvious. If Stewart really believed Colbert had been wronged, he had the platform and the power to take a stand. But he didn't. He chose the easy route. Pretend resistance. Loud, dramatic, but ultimately hollow. And for Maher and others, this moment exposed not just Stewart's hypocrisy, but the entire machine behind late-night resistance comedy. Colbert's defenders shouted from the rooftops, but their actions? Whispers. And as the outrage grew louder, something even louder cut through. Silence. Colbert didn't get canceled by CBS, he got canceled by silence. While the left erupted in outrage, the right said nothing. No protests, no defense, no loss felt, just quiet indifference. And that silence, it was louder than any headline, because it meant the audience had already left. Maher didn't need to spike the football. The ratings had done it for him. Colbert spent years turning his show into a moral megaphone, preaching woke mantras to the same choir night after night. But comedy isn't about preaching, it's about punching up, calling out power, and above all, making people laugh. Colbert forgot that. He chose applause over authenticity, lectures over laughs. And in doing so, he alienated half the country and bored the rest. His show stopped being a sanctuary for satire and became a pulpit for politics. The real punchline? Viewers weren't laughing, they were leaving. That's why no one came to save him. Because by the time CBS pulled the plug, America had already flipped the channel. And when comedy stops challenging and starts conforming, the end isn't loud. It's silent. That was Colbert's final moment. Not with a bang, but with a shrug. In the end, it wasn't Maher who destroyed Colbert. It was the truth. And the truth doesn't care how loud your laugh track is.